lot of work at home and we're working on tables or desks that really aren't the right height for us, and maybe we're not getting up and moving around. And a lot of people are actually misdiagnosed with carpal tunnel syndrome when they just simply have tight forearms. And so today I want to show you a couple of stretches that you can do that can help eliminate some issues that you might be feeling in your wrist. Carpals are when the bones right here are kind of closed up as carpal tunnel syndrome, but that's oftentimes caused by tight muscles in through here. So I'm going to show you a couple of different stretches you can do for both the forearm flexors and the forearm extensors. And so just to give you an idea of how complicated this all is, these are the forearm, there we go. These are the forearm flexors. So there are a lot of muscles in here in your forearm that help you move your hand and your wrist. And these are the forearm extensors. So there are the extensors, and I'm going to show you how to do some stretches for both of those. All right, we are going to start off with wrist rolls. So with wrist rolls, you can simply interlace your fingers and roll like you're making a circle. You can do this 20 or 30 times in each direction. Definitely do both directions. And then you can do that in multiple sets, 3 or 4 sets. And make sure you roll the opposite way, and more than likely you're going to find that one direction feels a little bit different than the other direction, and it just means you're a little bit tighter perhaps on one side than on the other. So that's the wrist rolls, and that's going to be working and helping to mobilize all these little muscles here in your wrist. The next thing we can do is a wave. Now, if you're anywhere near my age, maybe even 10 years younger, you might have learned a dance move where you're doing a wave, right? So that's one of the things that we can actually do is you can do this from sitting or standing. So since I'm sitting, I'll just do it here. Make sure that you keep your elbows away from a desk or you're gonna whack yourself. Up and down, we're making a wave with our wrist. And this is gently stretching both the extensors and the flexors in the wrist. And make sure that you go both directions. Again, you can do this 20 to 30 times. And if you want to have more fun, simply put on some music and dance. My kids would be like, what are you doing? No! Okay, the next thing I'm going to show you is your forearm flexors. So these are the flexors. They're on the palm side of your wrist. And super simple. A lot of people know how to do this. You can do sitting down. You can do it standing up. And just kind of feel how that feels. Make sure you do it on both sides. So all I'm doing is grasping my palm or my fingers and pulling up this way. And you can also do this with your hands on a table. And lean back if you want a deeper stretch. Or don't. You can do one hand at a time. Lean back and stretch. And where you're probably gonna feel this is in through here. And then do your other arm. Ooh, this one's worse. And I'm feeling it actually on this side more on my wrist. But I'm also, just to give you an idea, I'm leaning back to get more of a stretch. So this may be plenty of a stretch, and if so, that's fine. Lean back only if you want more. The next thing I'm going to do is my forearm extensors. So that's this side of the arm. And you could do the same thing, either standing here like this, or you can put one or both hands on a table or a desk and lean back if that's comfortable. And if you want to really torture yourself, rotate. This is called the antecubital fossa. Rotate that. Woo. So rotate your elbows back toward you or back towards the wall behind you. Oh, and you're gonna feel definitely a stretch. For some of you, this will be plenty of a stretch. So if that's a hurt so good stretch, don't go any further than that. But if you want more, take your elbow, roll your pointy part of your elbow back toward you, and that's going to create more of a stretch in through here in your forearm extensors. So you can do both at the same time if you want to torture yourself, or just one at a time. And you can hold these for 20 to 30 seconds, and you can do this more than once a day. And then the last thing I have for you is kind of fun. It might be a little dangerous if you're not coordinated, but I'm going to show you how to do it anyway because it will help increase mobilization in your wrist. Hang on just one second. Alrighty, so I am going to show you my amazing baton twirling skills by using a broom, because that's what I have handy. It would probably be better if you had something a little bit heavier like a dowel rod, but I don't happen to have an extra dowel rod, so a broom is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to make a figure 8, and what I'm going to do is work on the mobilization of my wrist and get those moving a lot. So if you're not coordinated and you've never done this before, watch out and don't do it with a rake or a shovel or anything like that. A broom is about as dangerous as you need to get. So we're going to go back and forth. Don't do that. There we go. Here are my baton twirling skills. You can go nice and slowly. I'll slow that down. Make sure you do it away from people. There you go. And slow motion. Slow motion. Can you tell that wasn't really slow motion? There you go. And we can see how coordinated I am with my left hand. Probably not so much. I'm kind of scared. Okay, there we go. Working on loosening up those forearm extensors and flexors, and hopefully that helps, and I'll see you hopefully real soon. You can try this with a Sharpie if you want to be safer. You're going to do the same motion, just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Switch hands, Sharpie, spatula, pen, same motion. Might be a little safer than using a broom.